KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus Finish Line Express is now open at Cars Plus in Mighty. The state-of-the-art car wash is now open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Hop and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Thanks for joining us from our satellite studio. Thanks to our sponsors here at ITNE. It's Memorial Day holiday, but the recovery of Typhoon Mawar continues to take over our lives here in the Western Pacific.
We have more storm coverage updates to bring you, but first we lead off tonight with a shooting in Dededo involving a family of 8. The youngest only 4 years old. The incident unfolding the same day Mawar left our area. Now the shooters remain on the run, so for his safety, we are not identifying the victim. So you were telling us that the day after the storm, you were coming home from getting water for your family. Everyone else is still in recovery mode. You're heading up NCS Road in Dededo, headed home with your 6 children, your other half here, and then the worst happened. The unexpected happened, right?
Yes.
You flashed your lights because someone had cut you off, and
Yes.
then they shot at you. Not once, not twice, multiple times. How are you feeling?
Well, scared for my family, of course. Very disappointed. Now we have to arm ourselves. The police have instructed us to arm ourselves and protect us. So, I mean, there's nothing much that we can do from there but just come to you guys and ask the police department if they can help us. Find the people that did this. They almost hit our children.
Give us the description of the suspects in the cars.
Older male, 2010 silver Toyota Camry, and we believe the shooter was also in another vehicle, a 2019 maroon Nissan Sentra. Maybe middle-aged man, not too sure.
Yeah. How's your kids doing and the family? This is not something easy to go through.
No, and they frequent the area where we live. We don't, we don't have weapons. We don't like weapons, but now we must arm ourselves. The police have instructed us and gave us, the okay to arm ourselves and protect ourselves in situations like that. And we never liked guns up until now. Now we have to. There's no choice.
What's also alarming, as you said, when you called the cops, they responded to...
We couldn't even get a hold of them. I actually had to go next door to another police officer's house, and he just so happened to be there in his unit.
Yeah.
And then he called the police department for us.
Yeah.
Because all the lines were down. They came out, suppressed the area for only 30 minutes, but we never saw another cop again after that till this day.
And then you ended up just collecting the shell casings.
In that area.
Bringing it to the Dededo precinct yourself, and you gave it to them?
Yes.
But you didn't get a case number.
We did not get a case number due to the fact that they said that their lines were down.
What were their words?
Their
said
systems were down. They were unable to process it, and when they do process it, they will call us in and take pictures of, the damage to the vehicle. But we still haven't received a call. We saw the car pass by on Saturday. We called the police department. They said, "Sir, well, what will you have us do?" We didn't even have a cop car pass by, not once.
That rattling inside this here is the bullet left behind by a shootout that happened over in Dededo. The family still hoping the police can help them out. What's your message to the chief of police? Because we know we're all going through this aftermath together, but your safety is still paramount.
Definitely, we just need to find the people that did this. They shot at a car with 6 children in it. I mean, they can't get away with this. They shot at it not once or twice, but 5 times. One of the bullets hitting the vehicle, nearly missing my son.
Incredible. Hopefully we get some answers soon, and good luck and prayers for the safety of your family.
Yes, thank you very much for your time.
KUAM also reached out to the Guam Police Chief Stephen Ignacio. We will continue to follow this story.
Well, prayers for that family's safety, as we are all already in a rather rough spot with the storm aftermath. The damage is no joke. KUAM's Juliana Hernandez shares the story of a Jigo family whose home was flattened by the storm.
As the island continues to recover from Typhoon Mawar, there are some families that are definitely in much need more than others, and I'm with one of them. What is your name, Miss?
Maxina Fall.
Right. And how long have you been a village here how long have you been a resident here in Jigo?
I believe more than 10 years.
And this is it was your home, right? And
Yes.
It was blown away by Typhoon Mawar. Can you tell me about that experience right now?
So Tuesday night we left our house. We went and stayed with a friend, and then Thursday when we came, our house was damaged, and we lost everything, including clothes. All of our clothes are wet. Food, we don't have anything to eat. So thanks to people that come and give us help, including the Universal Church. They support us. Even our landlord, he gave us food.
And what do you hope will to come out of this? Because I can see that you and your family, which by the way, what are your daughter's names and how old are they?
Mia Rose, 4 years old, and Maya Rose, 7 years old.
And your home is, like you said, it's blown away and all gone. What do you hope would come, out of this? What are you hoping would follow?
I'm hoping for a better house for my family, especially my kids. I think about my kids other than anything. I want a safe house for my kids.
Right.
I have 3 kids. One is 12 years old, son, and I have 2 daughters. One is 7 years old and one is 4 years old.
And I have to ask, how do you feel about this whole situation? And again, what are your hopes that would come out of this in the home?
I just want to have my home back, because right now my family, especially my kids, they're struggling. They've been complaining. There's no water, there's no power, they get dehydrated. So all I'm hoping for is Guam to go back to normal.
Well, thank you so much, my son.
Maxina also asking anyone who may be of help to get them back on their feet to call them at 671-456-3027.
FEMA inspectors will perform home-by-home assessments to initiate the process to provide direct relief to people like Maxina.
KUAM's Nestor Lecanto spoke with a FEMA official ahead of today's big announcement. Help should be coming to your doors soon.
All right, thanks. And we are here with Veronica Verde, who is the External Affairs Officer for FEMA, currently the team that's on island. Veronica, first of all, can you give us an update on the damage assessments that FEMA has been conducting?
Well, what we are doing right now is working with Guam Homeland Security and coordinating with them on any type of commodities or efforts that are needed. Today, the president made a disaster declaration for individual assistance. The individual assistance program ensures disaster survivors have timely access to a full range of authorized programs and services to maximize recovery through partner coordination with territorial government, as well as other federal agencies, non-governmental organizations, as well as the private sector. Individual household program assistance, it provides financial assistance and direct services to eligible individuals and households who have either uninsured or underinsured necessary expenses as serious needs. There are several ways that people can apply for FEMA. They could use the internet or smartphone application. Through the smartphone application, they could download the FEMA application. They could apply with FEMA through that source. We also have through the internet, www.disasterassistance.gov, where people can register on the web, or by calling our toll-free number at 1-800-621-3362. So we want individuals to be aware that there is now assistance for homeowners and renters that did sustain damages as a result of the disaster.
Yeah, that's very big news. I know a lot of people were waiting to hear about that. So how soon will they be able to avail of those sorts of assistance?
Well, if they could call, right now, and get into the system, what ends up happening, we will send a FEMA inspector to come and work with each individual that makes an application to go and review their damages. And once that happens, within anywhere between 7 to 10 days, they should be receiving a financial aid through FEMA. Another thing that we're also working with the territory is opening up what we call disaster recovery centers. They're called DRCs. They're usually open very quickly after disaster, for a limited period of time, and disaster survivors can apply for assistance in person at the DRCs that are open or in your communities after disaster. They are accessible and equipped to accommodate disaster survivors who need a disability-related communication aid. Also, FEMA staff can assist with completing registration or checking their application status. And then FEMA coordinates with the territory to establish those locations.
All right, there you have it. Some very big and very welcome news. FEMA will be, the president has approved the individual assistance program from FEMA. Veronica Verde, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Residents who suffered damages to their home from the storm can register with FEMA by calling 1-800-621-3362 or online at disasterassistance.gov.
The help isn't coming fast enough, including for village leaders like Mayor's Council of Guam President Jesse Alec.
But I have been trying to be level-headed about it, because I have to also be concerned about my 18 other colleagues that have to deal with the same situation. And I feel for the larger villages who have more schools to worry about, who have more facilities to worry about, because they're not getting the help. But you know what? Because we're patient, because people think we can wait 4 or 5 days in an emergency to get help, perhaps the help will come now. But it is frustrating that people want to know what they're going to do. They don't know. We don't know what to tell them. So yes, you'll see that I did instruct my residents to place your trash where they're going to pick it up, and it's Route 1. So of course people say, oh no, you can drop it at GSWA. Oh, at GSWA, let's talk about GSWA. You cannot tell me GSWA cannot plan that after a storm you're going to have trash. And so they're going to open at 9 o'clock. My staff gets to GSWA before 9 o'clock so that they make sure that you get in line and get dumped. But somewhere after 9 o'clock, they're not gonna be ready for another 2 hours, because they have to prepare their site. By golly, what were you doing yesterday? Is it a holiday? The storm wasn't going to wait for a holiday. So I'm just saying that there's so many different pieces to this puzzle, to this recovery puzzle. And I think every piece has enough manpower, has enough brains to figure it out, but it's not working. And it's not working for the people of Guam.
Right. Well, Mayor.
And it's not coming fast enough. It's not coming fast enough. And if it's coming, and because it's not coming fast enough, there are excuses. And I'm sorry that I have to say it, but it's an excuse. It's an excuse, whether it's coming from the Mayor's Council of Guam, whether it's coming from any other agency. It's an excuse if it's not coming fast enough. Because again, our people don't deserve this type of recovery. Certainly not. I mean, if we knew, if all we were doing was, if our eyes were gazed on the Weather Channel, our eyes were gazed on meteorologists reporting pre-storm, you should have already been considering that post-storm, all of this was going to happen. And so who was going to come help? China? Might as well, because FEMA's here. But if FEMA is here, what are we doing? We're taking pictures.
The governor's office, in response, say they met with mayors Sunday to hear their concerns, adding most issues were sourced around purchase orders, and that issue, we are told, has been addressed.
That's right, though many are sharing frustration, how they have yet to see Department of Public Works crews cleaning up. The Joint Information Center says dozens of streets have been cleared of debris since Mawar.
Also, 50% of water is back online and 1,000 water tankers available at these sites in Manilao, MTM, Dededo, Ilnalahan, Malesu, Hagat, Santa Rita, and Jigo.
A paradise in peril. These next few stories cover travel to the island, the airport now open. There is also concerns with airlines price gouging, and still many Guamanians are stranded elsewhere, while travelers here are stuck just the same, waiting to get home. Hafide, we're reporting live from the AB Wanpat International Guam Airport, and I'm joined today with a very special guest. For those who may not know you, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm John M. Kanatsa. Know me as JQ. I'm the executive manager for the Guam International Airport.
All right, JQ. Well, we all know there were circulating videos over the typhoon that the airport experienced a lot of damage. So can you tell us a little bit about that? What did you guys see when you guys came back into the airport?
Well, basically the airport from our standpoint, the whole third, second, first, and basement was flooded. And it was due to the drainage clogging on our third floor roof. Like most people on the island, like myself at home, the leaves that were flying throughout the storm clogged up all our drains, and what happened was it created like a lake on top of our airport, the roof. And once that broke through, all that created like a flash flood that went from the third, second, first, and down to the basement.
Wow.
So when we came in on Thursday morning, still on Core 1, when we walked into the departure floor, which is the second floor, we the water was all the way through at ankle level.
Oh my goodness.
So it was really bad. Third floor was at knee level, and down to the basement waist level, as far as the water that was all around the airport.
Wow, so basically the airport was a swimming pool at that point. And as you said, you guys came in during Core 1, so you guys were very quick in your response to come and clean that up. So can you take us through the cleaning process? How did you guys get all that water out?
So basically we had to do an assessment, and what we had to do, and we had to prioritize where. We had to make sure that everybody was safe. So we had to shut down all electrical outlets because, as you know, water is a conductor. And if you're there and it's short somewhere, somebody's going to get electrocuted.
Right.
So we had to turn off the power everywhere. And so we started doing that. And then we had to start assessing where is the priority we had to do. Obviously, we had to take the water out of the third floor first, because if you take it down from the first and there's water in the third, it's still going to come down.
Right.
So we had to clear out the third floor. Then we went to the second, then we went down to the first, then we went down to the basement. What we found out for the places that had carpet, that even though we extracted the waters out, we found out that the water was still sitting under the carpet. So we had to make the decision to take out all the carpet because it's going to create mold.
Right.
And so that was done because basically we had to make sure that the employees that are here are safe, the passengers that are here are safe, and whoever's using the airport is safe. So to this day, we're still recovering, but we've recovered enough where that we can open the airport for passengers that have been stuck here on Guam before the typhoon to go back to their countries or to their place, and for the folks that were stuck coming to Guam, that they can come in.
Right. And as you were saying, we actually came here right before the storm, and we were talking to some passengers who were stuck here. So how many passengers, do you have an estimate of how many passengers waiting to go out and come back to Guam there are?
Conservatively, it's about 5,000.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So we're looking at that, and that's Korean tourists, locals, military people that were here. So yes, that's around just being conservative. It's about 5,000.
Right. And for the passengers who are expecting to go out and arrive here in Guam, are we expecting any delays for them to get to their gates? Are there still flooding? Is there still flooding around the airport?
There's just minor, and when you walk around, you can hear the wet vacuum going, and so what they're trying to do is finalize, because you got outlets that are on the floor. So in order to power up those outlets, we have to make sure that those conduits are clear of any kind of water, because if there's any short, you're going to create a fire.
Right.
And we don't want that to happen.
Definitely not. And then my last question for you, I know that this is maybe an out of the park question, but how long can we expect for the airport to be fully operational?
We're fully operational right now. But, as far as being back to normal, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. We got to make sure that all the carpets that we pulled out, that we get the replacement in. And we also got to continue to make sure that the outlets and all the different places that are functioning, like the ticket counters and stuff, we're still making sure that those things are going to function correctly. So yes, it'll be, I would say, even conservatively, a month, we're not going to be there. It's going to take a while to get back.
Agent Moylan, where there's a lot of moving pieces in the aftermath of Typhoon Mawar, but one of those that you're pointing out is the price gouging, or what appears to be price gouging at United Airlines. Can you explain more about that?
Right. Our office received some complaints pursuant to the Consumer Protection Act that deals with the price gouging statutes that were passed, and we received a complaint about United allegedly overcharging, sounded like 800%, 700% over the amount. And what we did was we put together the facts as we had received them on the complaints, checked the statute, and then this morning I sent out a letter to the general manager on Guam, the one that heads the Guam office for United Airlines, Mr. Shinohara. Mr. Shinohara, I believe, communicated with their corporate offices in the States. We received a positive response from Mr. Wise. We've provided a copy to all the medias regarding that, and he apparently is indicating that a computer glitch had caused this extreme overcharging of, I think it was $10,000 or something like that, for a one-way air ticket to Guam. So we've asked a few questions which United is going to respond to, such as, did anyone actually pay the higher amount? Are they in communication with that consumer to refund the difference? And we asked them to update us on the website on what was being advertised, and they provided that with the links and so forth. So I believe at least one of the rates I saw was about $990, which is consistent with what their one-way airfare ticket should be. So, we try to hope to see the best in our commercial businesses on Guam, and United has been one of the largest employers on Guam and has a long history with Continental and Continental Air Micronesia and so forth. So I was very happy to see their quick response, and they're dispelling what apparently was a misunderstanding, but clearly there was a glitch in their system that caused this. So, and they also cited in their response that they're in the process of having some of their flights bring over some of the relief and recovery that Guam needs. So again, it was very positive. Our office is also receiving other consumer complaints of what has transpired in the past week. We've logged them down, and our office may be issuing certain subpoenas to some of these businesses that may have overcharged.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Agent Moylan, and we'll have your full letter on KUAM.com.
All right, everybody, one angle we were covering yesterday was the approximately 6,000 arrivals to Guam who are now stranded in our hotels. One angle we haven't touched on yet is Guamanians who are stranded in other parts of the world trying to get back home. One such person is Dr. Jasmine Wenzel. Having recently attended her graduation in the States, and along with other people, is in Japan right now, waiting to get home so she can help out with the recovery. So, Jazzy, so good to see you, and we hope you're okay.
Hi, yeah, we're hanging in there right now. We hope you're doing okay too.
Yeah, things are, as coming along here. So how did you find out that, were you en route already, or how did you find out that you wouldn't be able to come back home as soon as you thought?
Actually, it happened on our way back, probably a couple of days before we were heading back. So while we were transiting out of Atlanta, going to Newark, that's when we would get the notifications that our plane was canceled, and it happened twice.
Now, of course, one thing that is so emblematic of being Guamanian is, when any of our people, are in trouble or in peril, everybody wants to chip in and help. So how are you feeling right now, knowing that, you've got family back here, you've got friends, you obviously want to come back and help clean up, help lift spirits and everything, but at least for a couple more days, that's not going to be the case. What are you doing to actually connect with your family?
Yeah, definitely. Ever since we all got the notification that our flights were being canceled, we were heavily devastated because we want to be back. We want to help out the island. We want to help our family and friends. And to see them in the state of, exhaustion and irritation and just everything that happened during the storm, of course, we all want to be together with our community. So we're still until now feeling heavy-hearted about that. But we are happy that by tomorrow we'll be able to reunite with them and help out again. So.
Okay, so you do have a hard ETA on when you will be arriving. You said you'll be able to be en route tomorrow?
Yeah, as soon as tomorrow. Tomorrow on the 30th, we have a plane flight to go out there by 11 a.m. So hopefully we'll land there by around 2, if it's not canceled.
Okay, and you did use we, so I know there's not just you. There's also other Guamanians who, as I understand it, were at a conference out there. Other people were just visiting friends and family in the States. So do you have an idea of how big the Guam contingent is right now in Narita, where you are?
We did see some people besides us. Right now, there's 3 of us that are actually here in Narita. The other 2 Guamanians are in Hawaii right now. And when we've been walking around, we saw a few Guamanians here. We can tell they're from Guam because they're wearing like buckeye and all the clothes. So we saw quite a few.
And did you guys know each other already? And what are you doing to kind of just catch up on each other? Say, hey, what village are you from? Where's your family? Where'd you go to school and everything? And how can we all help when we get back home?
Right. So we all went together for a teaching conference in Atlanta, and it actually helped because although I didn't know everybody that we were with, I felt like we connected and we were able to help support each other through the storm of what was going on in Guam. So that was really special, and I really appreciated that.
Hafide, we're here with Trisha Regalo. We spoke with you at the airport just right before Typhoon Mawar devastated the island. You and your son's flight actually was canceled just ahead of your wedding. So how are you both doing right now?
We are doing good given the circumstances. It's definitely not an experience that, I've been through, but I feel like that we've grown and weathered things, and we've learned a lot through this process. And there's devastation without, the whole island, but I'm pretty thankful that I have the place that I have with power, electricity, and running water. So it's, and I have support back home, so it's been amazing, and yeah.
And speaking about support, thankfully you have been able to communicate with your fiance. You just said that your wedding is on Saturday, so how is he taking all of this, that you both are here in Guam for the first time, and the typhoon devastated the island, so what is he thinking right now?
He had some anxiety, but I think he's actually been taking it better than me. I'm usually the one who is more positive, and for him, he's been my rock through all this, because I've been kind of worrying whether if I'm going to get back in time, and my faith has kind of tethered up and down a little bit, but he's kind of stayed constant, and it's been amazing. Yeah.
And I love that you're so positive throughout this whole ordeal, because it is an ordeal. And of course, with the wedding, it takes so much preparation. Usually this is the time for everybody to be relaxing ahead of the wedding. So you've definitely gone a different route. So my main question for you is, where does the fate of your wedding lie now?
Well, as of right now, my tickets aren't booked until June 5th. And I'm really hoping that, we can get back before the wedding. But when our flights got canceled, I think it was May 27th, I called immediately and they were all booked out and I'm like, how does this happen so quickly? But everybody's trying to get home, everybody is trying to get home to their families too. So that was the earliest. So as of right now, I don't really know if I'm going to make it back home for my wedding.
And if someone is watching right now, I know that we were speaking off camera, you're hoping that maybe someone can find it in their heart to hopefully exchange their ticket with you. So what is your hope moving forward?
Moving forward, yeah, that is kind of my hope, that somebody would feel it in their heart to want to get me back home so I can, attend my wedding. Like I said before, I know everybody's trying to get back home, but for me, I just want to make my wedding. So if they feel it in their heart to exchange tickets with me or donate to our GoFundMe, which I can give you the link to that, because there are other flights through a different airline leaving earlier to get me back in time. But it's obviously not free. It's very expensive. And I've used up all our savings just to be able to feed us and keep us housed throughout this whole thing. So, yeah.
Well, Trisha, we hope that, people who are out there watching, hopefully you can visit your GoFundMe link, and we'll be sure to post that on our socials as well. But we're hoping the best for you both, and we're hoping that you can make it back on time for your wedding. So that's the report for now. Thank you so much. We have the link on KUAM.com for the GoFundMe her page her other half created to get his fiance home for the wedding.
Well, now to recovery efforts in the CNMI. Here's regional correspondent Tomas Manglona.
The CNMI governor and lieutenant governor visit Rhoda over the weekend as more residents are put back on the grid.
We went down, we were able to talk to the mayor and assure the people, the leadership of Rhoda, that we are here to help them.
The administration assessed the aftermath of Typhoon Mawar in Rhoda, visiting utility services offices, Rhoda Health Center, and the landfill.
The biggest issue is the critical infrastructure like power and water. So we were able to deploy some people down there. I'm very proud of our CUC, especially the Rhoda line crew and the water crew down there. We sent some folks from Saipan and some critical equipments and supplies down there.
Another major issue, he says, is a mobile oil Micronesia damaged fuel line that the Rhoda mayor says they're working to restore at the East Harbor.
We're trying to make sure that is up and running. They only have, if I'm not mistaken, 25 days of fuel, and that has to be rectified. That's the top priority, because that's what provides the diesel for the power plants.
Over the weekend, 79% of residents had their power restored while crews worked to repair damaged power poles to get everyone back on the grid. A boil water notice remains in effect for Rhoda, while CUC provides a water filling station at the Ginalagan tank limited to 50 gallons per customer from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And the CNMI governor says help will be coordinated for Guam.
We're going to come together and we're going to see what we can do to source out assistance for our brothers and sisters in Guam. Once we are sure that Rhoda has been stabilized and things are moving forward in that regard.
Tomas Manglona, KUAM News, Saipan.
We are all recovering together, but multiple people are doing what they can to help us all affected by Mawar.
That's right. Mitsuki Hirayama chats it up in the kitchen with a group who has been cooking up meals and delivering, all in an effort to make sure people don't go hungry.
These are the local heroes cooking for the community, making sure that their bellies are full and their hearts are full after Typhoon Mawar. And joining me here is Nadal from Habibi Catering. Nadal, can you just tell me what made you decide that you need to do this? You need to prep right before the storm hit, and now you're helping feed the community in the aftermath of the storm.
Well, it's first of all, it's our natural instinct that when you have someone, there's someone needs you, and then you just say, all right, I have a little bit extra here and I'm just gonna help. So 2 days before the storm arrives, I had a brief talk with Nan and Helen, my business partners, and they just straight away, okay, Nidal, we're gonna do it. So we start we start preparing, we start buying ingredients, buying meat, protein, veggies, and try to get ourselves ready. And we thought we were gonna do actually like 50, 100 a day, 200 meals a day for just the most, the most displaced families or this. And then we just start to notice that the shelters every day being flooded with more people and more people every day. And then the first 3 days, we ran out of everything, almost everything. There are some really community members. They send us some donations, some stuff like rice or some meats. And I don't know, do you remember what's their name? Who get us the meat, 200 pounds of meat?
So we had some donations from the Market Deli, Marangpika. Jose, you remember other donations? Pomika Cells donated some meat, spices. I know Market Deli the Market Deli donated a lot of meat, right?
Like we really get very little stuff from out. Even it was very helpful, especially the spices from Pomika Cells, but it was too little. And then we are still now buying from our cash, and we are doing whatever we can. Yesterday we couldn't work because all of our cars without gas, and that's our biggest problem. We have to choose, either we go stand 5 hours in line to get some gas, or we just have somebody can make 50 meals for a 50 hungry child. So we prioritize the hands here. Of course, we need volunteers most of all. Now we have some people outside, 2-3 volunteers. Somebody is delivering things, somebody is buying items. We have my business partners, Nan and him. They are running errands outside, and that's all the hands that you see around here.
Right. And
sorry, I want to mention the first day we were able to make, I think, around 400 something. The second day was first day 400 in the morning, and in the night we get really urgent requests from the shelters. We were able to produce like 100 plus 150. Second day, like in total, I think with the first 3 days we made more than 2,000. And then yesterday we got a request even from the what we call them, the rescue troops. The rescue troops need our help. I'm like, I don't know who is our priority anymore now. Like, I don't know, we have the shelters first, we have so many hungry families like calling us, please can you help? Like, we are trying to use our intuition to judge, do you really need it or not? So, I don't know, we're just doing our best here. Just doing our best.
Yeah, and thank you guys again so much for helping out our community in their time of need. And if you guys would like to volunteer or make donations, you can reach out to Habibi Catering Guam on Instagram.
We see the many of you asking, when will your water and power be restored? Once we get that information, we will update you.
That's right, we all need our AC for round-the-clock coverage. Keep it here to KUAM.com or on our KUAM News on social media. For now, I'm Destiny Cruz.
And I'm Nick Delgado. Stay strong, Guam.